Okay, coming to sit in whatever position feels good for you this morning. Taking a mudra of your choice, lifting your spine up tall. Trying to bring the back of the skull to line up with the base of the tailbone, so that you feel a light activation into the abdominal muscles and a strong awareness of the alignment of the spine. Just gently close the eyes here. Spending a few moments just connecting into your body and your breath. Setting an intention for this morning's practice. And then gently folding yourself forward over your shins. Try and maintain this space of calm, quiet, and mindful meditation. On your inhale, unravel yourself, coming back up to sit, and switch your legs around. Let's exhale to forward fold. Inhale, rolling yourself back up to sit, and then coming over onto hands and knees in tabletop. Let's start to walk the hands forward for puppy pose, lowering your forehead towards the mat. On your inhale, slowly sliding yourself back into child's pose, sinking your seat to your heels. Bringing the right arm under the chest, threading the needle. Bringing the hand center and then sliding the left arm under the chest. Inhale the left arm forward and lifting your way into downward facing dog. Take your time in your down dog, exploring the different range of movements. Exploring how your body and breath are connecting to one another. And just feeling into your intuitive, natural movement. When you are ready, finding your way into a still downward facing dog. Looking between the hands and taking little steps up to the front of the mat. Let's open up through the chest. And exhale to forward fold. Bending your knees as you roll yourself up one vertebrae at a time. Standing into Tadasana. Let's inhale, hands overhead. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Inhale, right leg lunge. And stepping back into plank. Lowering knees, chest and chin. Inhaling low cobra. And exhale back through child's pose into downward facing dog. Breathe deeply here. Inhale, right leg up. And exhale to step the foot forward into lunge. Inhale together, flat back. And exhale to fold. Inhale, lifting hands all the way to the sky. Exhaling, hands to heart. Inhale, arms up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale to fold. Inhale, left leg lunge. And stepping back into plank. Exhaling, knees, chest and chin. And inhaling slightly higher into cobra. Sliding back through child's pose. and downward facing dog. Breathing deeply here. Let's inhale, left leg up and stepping the foot forward into lunge. Inhale together, flat back, and exhale to fold. Inhale, hands to the sky. Interlock fingers and turn the palms to face up. Stretching to the right. Inhale, center, stretching to the left. Inhale, center. Bring your hands behind your back, interlocking fingers. Opening up the chest, lift the chin, and then reach the shoulders away from the ears. Softening into knees as you forward fold, keeping the clasp. Releasing hands to the floor, inhaling, right leg into lunge, and stepping back into plank. Lowering knees, chest, and chin, and inhaling into cobra. Exhale, sliding through child's pose. Into downward facing dog. Breathing deeply in your down dog. Inhale the right leg to the sky and stepping the foot forward into lunge. On the inhale breath, step your back foot in a little bit, warrior one. Square the hips to the short edge of the mat and lengthen your spine straight out of the hips. Inhale, hands behind your back, interlocking fingers, open up your chest. You can turn the chin up to the sky. Make sure you're nice and strong in that back leg. As you exhale, forward fold. Turn your left hip forward, right hip back. Drop the hands to the floor. Inhale as you step into plank. Float your body in your plank. Make yourself as light as you can. Let's exhale, knees, chest and chin. Sliding forward into cobra. Moving through child's pose, downward facing dog. On the inhale breath, taking the left leg to the sky. And stepping the foot forward into lunge. Full round of breath here. And then warrior one. Stepping the back foot in slightly and turning the hips to face the short edge of your mat. Bending front knee deeply as you anchor down through the baby toe side of the back foot. It's inhale, hands behind the back, interlock fingers, opening up the chest. Exhale to gently fold. Releasing hands to the floor. Inhale, step forward, flat back. And exhale to forward fold. Inhale, circle sweep the hands overhead. Interlocking fingers and turning the palms to face up. Leaning to your left. Inhale, center, and leaning to the right. Inhale, center. Bring the hands behind you, interlocking fingers, and open up the chest. As you exhale, you forward fold, keeping the hands interlocked. Drop the hands to the floor and stepping your left leg back, followed by the right. Float your body in your plank pose. Figure out how you can make yourself as light as possible. Let's lower knees, chest and chin. Sliding into cobra. And then moving through child's pose into downward facing dog. Breathe deeply here. Let's float the right leg to the sky and step the foot forward into lunge. Full round of breath, and then warrior one. From our warrior one, we're going to transition into eagle pose. So you float the hands open, bringing the back knee forward, wrapping the elbows, and tucking your toes around your calf. Sitting nice and low in your Garandasana. Lift the elbows, push the forearms away. From Garandasana, we're going to float back into high lunge. So extend the body, opening it wide, moving with control, floating the back foot down and lifting the arms up, high lunge. So you're on the toes of the back foot, hips are square. Let's start to lean the chest forward as you open the arms to the side into an aeroplane lunge. Make sure that you're not resting on your front thigh. The torso is strong and active, reaching head and heel away from one another. Gently release your hands to the floor and stepping back into plank. And again, float your body. Feel as light as possible. Gripping the fingertips into the mat, engaging through the legs, lowering knees, chest and chin. Inhaling cobra. And back into downward dog, moving through child's pose. Take a few deep breaths here. floating the left leg to the sky and stepping your foot forward into lunge. Full round of breath. And then lifting up, warrior one. Make sure there's space in the hips, space in the lower back. Engage the back body as much as the front. From our warrior one, we transition into eagle pose, opening the body wide as you now wrap the elbows and the thighs. Sitting low into the hips. Your drishti point is to the back of your arm, finding a relaxed gaze on the face. From here, we transition into high lunge, taking your time to get there. Spread and expand all of the dimensions of the body to float into your high lunge. Let's open up through the arms as we lean the torso forward, coming into your airplane lunge. Gently releasing down and lightly stepping yourself back into plank. Holding plank pose as you float. And we're going to lower knees, chest, chin to the mat. Not lifting into cobra this time, just staying flat on the tummy, hands underneath the forehead. Breathe deeply here. On your inhale breath, bring your right hand out in a T shape next to the shoulder, palm facing down. Turn over onto your right side and hug your knees up into a 90 degree. Your left elbow can rest on the floor, or you can take your left hand behind the back with the palm facing away from the body. Let's breathe here deeply for a few moments. If you need a deeper stretch, you take your top leg, lifting the knee to the sky and placing the foot behind you on the floor. Intensifying the stretch into your front deltoid. Let's release out of this pose the way we came into it. Slowly, mindfully, and then we'll take it to the other side. So lying to the chest, bring the left hand out, palm facing down. Roll to your left side and bend your knees. Right hand in front of the chest for the first few breaths. And then you can bring the hand behind the back only if you feel that you need a deeper stretch. If you want to go deeper still, you take the top leg, knee to the sky, and the foot behind your body. Come out of the pose the way we got in, lowering the leg, lowering the top arm, straightening both legs, rolling to tummy, and then coming into child's pose with the hands next to the hips. On your inhale breath, walking the hands forward as you slide the body back, downward facing dog. On your inhale, the right leg is going to lift, and then stepping the foot forward for warrior two pose. Sitting nice and deep into the hips in your warrior two pose. Slide the front knee forward and then open it back towards the baby toe side of the foot. Your dristi is your front middle finger. On the inhale breath, you're going to straighten the leg, turn to face sideways, lifting the arms, feet at a 45 into 5-pointed star. As you exhale, bend down through the knees, bringing the elbows into cactus for Gayasana. Remember to straighten the back in a neutral position. Let's inhale, 5-pointed star, and then turn to face the left side, Virabhadrasana B. Slide the front knee open, extend the fingers, find space in the body. Let's come down into Parsvakonasana, bringing the elbow to the thigh and sweeping the top arm over the ear. Reaching heel and fingertips in opposite directions. Roll that top shoulder open to try and turn your chest to the sky without letting the knee collapse inwardly. Let's inhale back, warrior two. Straighten the front leg, turning sideways, 5-pointed star. Bending down, Gaya Asana. Check that the feet are not too wide for your Gaya Asana, because we're going to try and lift now onto the toes, lifting the heels. If the feet are too wide, that becomes a bit challenging, so maybe bring the feet just slightly together. Sinking heels down, 5-pointed star, straighten, and then turn to the right, warrior two. Bringing elbow to thigh, top arm over the ear. Parsvakonasana. Imagining that you are squishing the body between two sheets of glass, lining up the torso with the thigh, and then rotating to the sky. Let's inhale, warrior two. straighten that front leg, turning sideways, 5-pointed star. Bending down, Gaya Asana. Adjust the legs if you need to, and come up onto the toes. If you can stay on the toes, please try to do that. You're now going to sweep the hands down, crossing the wrists, placing the back of the fingertips lightly to the floor. Drop your head, lift your heels, lift your hips, and just float in this space. Sinking heels down, hands underneath the shoulders, lift your chest. Rotate the heels out so they are parallel. And then walking the arms forward into a wide downward facing dog. So this is a mixture of down dog and melting heart pose. Let your chest relax, let your head drop, stretching the whole back body with special emphasis on the upper back. On your inhale, walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. And now turn to rotate so that you are in a lunge over the front foot, stepping back into plank. Holding your plank for a moment, floating tall. And then let's lower knees, chest and chin, all the way down to the tummy. Bringing hands under the forehead and taking a moment to rest. From your tummy position, you're now going to bend your right leg. Flexing the foot and placing your left knee into the arch of your right foot. If you feel comfortable, you can start to increase the balance by bringing one hand or even both hands next to the hips with the forehead to the mat. If you feel that your balance is a bit off, keep the hands under the forehead. You're now going to slide the hands into a T shape with the palms facing down. Turn your gaze to the left side, and your top leg is now going to come behind as you straighten the bottom leg into a twist. Let's return to the center, lying on the tummy, and bringing the hands under the forehead. Moving to the other side, we'll start with the left leg bent, lifting the right leg and placing the knee into the arch of the foot. If your balance feels comfortable, maybe place one hand, maybe place two hands next to the hips. Sweep the hands into a T shape, palms facing down. The top leg is going to bend behind, and the bottom leg is going to straighten to the bottom of the mat. Coming into a twist. From here, releasing back to the tummy. And slide your way into child's pose. You can choose to have the hands forward, under the forehead, or next to the hips. Breathe into your lower back, releasing any tension or tightness. And then slide the hands forward, lifting into downward facing dog. We're now going to move into super dog. So for the super dog, you want to have a nice firm grip into both hands. Make sure that your hands are wide enough to support the shoulders. We're going to slowly lower both elbows to the floor at the same time. So gaze between the thumbs as you do this. Squeeze your legs, squeeze your tummy, and gently lower both elbows to the floor. Just take one round of breath here, and then we're going to lift both elbows off the floor at the same time. You may want to drop the knees in between, take a moment to rest the shoulders, and when you are ready, repeating super dog. So the challenge here is to lift and lower simultaneously, not one at a time, but both at the same time. That takes a fair amount of shoulder strength and core strength. So if you're really struggling to lower and lift at the same time, don't be put off. It takes time, takes training to get there. It will happen when you are ready for it to happen. So doing that about 3 times, and then when you are done, coming back to child's pose with the hands next to the hips to relax the shoulders. Slowly lift yourself back up to sit. Unraveling the spine. And then coming to bring the legs in front of you. Swinging the feet to one side and lifting up. So here, we're now going to bend your knees. Flexing the toes so you are engaging into the quads. Now lift your spine as tall as you possibly can. You want to lay your rib cage flat against the thighs. So stick the tailbone out and broaden the chest. Once your rib cage is flat against your thighs, you can straighten the legs a little bit, making sure that you're still flat against those thighs. And you're going to keep going up until your maximum extension. As soon as your ribs no longer touch the thighs, or the lower belly no longer touches the thighs, you know that's where you're going to stop. So the aim here is not to get the legs perfectly straight, but rather to work into the flexation of that back, the lower back. So keeping belly and ribs against the thighs. Once you are at your maximum extension, this looks different for everyone, then you can start to forward fold the rest of the way. Even if your knees are deeply bent, I don't mind. Sacrifice your hamstrings for the benefit of your back. And then inhale, lifting back up to sit. Let's cross the legs. And exhale to twist. Inhaling to center and twist the other way. Inhaling to center. Bring the legs out in front of you. Lying down onto your back, you can either just lie straight down or move through a slow core roll. Once you're on your back, bring your knees into your chest and flatten through the whole length of your back. See if you can relax the shoulder blades into the floor, broadening your chest. Pressing the middle back into the floor. You're doing quite a lot of work into the upper back, into the shoulders. And sometimes you just need to lie in a neutral place to try and release those spaces. Come into a figure of four now, placing the right ankle to the left thigh. Sliding between the triangle of the thighs to hold the back of your left leg. We haven't done a lot of hip work today, a few standing stretches. So if the hips are still feeling a bit tight, that's absolutely fine, don't overexert. However, if the hips are a bit more open, you can bring the hand onto the shin bone, and you'll feel that's a deeper stretch into piriformis. If you'd like to go even deeper, you can now straighten the bottom leg and bring the hands to hold onto calf, maybe onto the ankle, or even holding onto the top foot. Try to make sure the lower back is plugging into the floor. You don't want to lift and curl the tailbone off the mat, but rather anchor the lower back flat. From here, release the hands back down, rebend that top leg, opening arms into a T shape and dropping into a figure of four twist. Returning now to center and release. Taking it to the other side. Left ankle to right thigh and holding the back of the right thigh. like to go a bit deeper, you can hold onto the front shin. Maybe extending the top leg and working through the different stages till you reach a point that you feel happy to stay. Remember not to lock the straight leg. Maybe you need to slightly micro bend to protect your knee joint. Let's gently release that top thigh, rebending arms into a T shape as you drop into figure of four twist. Turn to center now, unwrap the legs, hug the knees into your chest. And now making your way into Shavasana. If you need to put jerseys back on, or maybe get a blanket. Maybe you like to have a very thin pillow underneath the head. Adjusting your body so that the lower back is long, so the hips are even and spread. The hands are out to the sides of the body, making space for the shoulders. Let's draw the shoulder blades slightly together, the chin slightly to the chest, smoothing out the skin of your forehead, relaxing your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Taking a long, deep inhale through the nose. Hold it for a moment. And then sigh through the mouth. Feeling the whole body relax and surrender with the sigh. Returning now to a smooth, natural breath. slowly start to deepen and lengthen your breath. Running your thumb over each fingertip. Moving your toes, your ankles, your wrists. Sliding your feet together and extending your arms overhead as you yawn or sigh. Bending your knees as you roll onto your side in a fetal position. On your inhale, making your way into a comfortable seated space. Find a meditative position that you can hold as we take 10 slow meditative breaths. Drawing your hands together at your heart center, Anjali Mudra. We'll close the class by chanting Om once and Shanti 3 times, taking a deep breath in. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Raising your hand to your third eye, the light in me sees and honors the light in you. Lowering your hands to your lips, to your heart, and to your mat, bowing forward in recognition of your practice. Blinking eyes open, inhaling to lift. Namaste.